Okay. Oh, I didn't even bother to... There. All right. Friday night. What's up? Toys. Toys. That's what's happening tonight. Like every other night. Let me go find some stuff. Let me click in here. Whoop. Take us right down. Kind of get started right off the bat. I know I normally give it some time, but we'll let some people funnel in and whatnot while we figure out what we're going to do. This is wild. This is even a thing. So we're going to talk about this. Of course, we're going to look over the dailies because we do. Oh, yeah, they got new Joes coming out. Let's check that. Aliens? I did get that She-Hulk. The video's already up. Oh, Mafex. Got something coming here. No. We're going to look at that. And... oh, cool. Okay. And then we'll go up here. Then we'll see what the... we'll check this stuff. So, let me check here, see if anything's happening. Okay. All right. So, we should be set to actually go in and look at some stuff. And so, here we go. First off, starting out tonight, let's click over here. So, I missed it. I should have known. There should have been no reason that I didn't see it coming. Absolutely. I'm going to cross my fingers on the She-Ra figure from Mondo again. I knew it. Right now, I'm prepping for a vacation that I'm due to take this month. And I didn't feel right spending the money, like when she came up. Especially with her being like $260 or whatever. So I put it off. I said, well, let's wait. Let's not jump right in. And because I waited, she's gone. So she's gone. That's not going to be a thing. Bill's not going to be able to get that figure. I'm hoping that because, like, I didn't expect this, that all of a sudden Mondo was just basically re-putting out everything that it already did like this, like another giant wave of possibility. And so if they did it once, here's hoping that maybe on the next big figure that they put out, they'll do the same. And maybe I'll pick up a couple. Let's see. You ever do that thing where you wake up more exhausted than when you went to sleep? Yeah. Yes, I have. I've done that many times, actually, and it is completely unpleasant. But, yeah, that all being said, there you go. Sorry, not going to get her. It's not going to happen. But what else do we have today we're talking about? Oh, Mafex. I did actually want to check this out, because the Batman is looking sick. And I think that's probably one of the main things I actually want to check out. Most of the other stuff I'm not too worried about right now. For one, I've never really jumped in and bought Mafex. But if there's one scene that would be cool to set up for Mafex, it would be cool to have, like, starting out, if I was going to jump into Mafex, and I actually... yeah, not this Superman, but there was a Superman, the Hush Superman that they were selling for a while. That would have been an ideal Superman for me to put on the shelf, like, without a doubt. This Batman is awesome. Like, it's a really good Nightfall Batman. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, what I'm looking at here, especially with the shoulders, that's not Bruce Wayne. Right? Is this when Paul took over? Because I seem to remember that the spikes didn't exist on the early Nightfall Bruce Wayne. It wasn't until Paul took the costume and then started making adjustments to it. At least I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay, but I see that there's multiple, because there's, okay, so you could argue that you could put the spikes on and you could have the spikes off, but I'm almost, maybe it's been a very long time, but I don't seem to remember the spikes being on until Paul was in the costume. So if you bought this figure, it would give you access to whichever part of the lineage you wanted to do. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. Did I catch up on Galaxy? No. No, I haven't. I haven't watched any of that since we were doing the reviews. I saw that you guys did some, and they seem to go over pretty well. They seem to work pretty well as a 100% audio podcast. So I don't see any reason that we can't start doing them that way. But it just so we are 100% understanding on this, we are reopening the floodgates on this one. Absolutely, without a doubt. We're about to jump into watching the series and talking about episodes. And I mean, I'm not saying we can't do it, but you watch. We're opening the floodgates on this one. Let's see here. Now this is the Hush Poison Ivy, and she's pretty solid. Now I've never had a Poison Ivy, to be fair, like ever. There's never been a real reason for me to put one on the shelf, and I'm not 100% sure what one I would want, if you want the truth of it. Here, let's, just for argument's sake, let's play that real quick. What are Poison Ivy possibilities that are... Oh my gosh, look at that. That is some pennies. That's a statue, to be fair, but wow. Okay, so just on Big Bad alone, because that's all I'm looking at right here, there's the Mafex, and then there's statues, and there's little things. I don't know that there's very many Poison Ivies, like, really on the market right now that you can get. Like, there's the McFarlane one that just came out. That by the way, fantastic sculpt, Uma. Like, that's an absolutely fantastic sculpt, to be fair, but not one that I would personally buy, and that's it. There's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of statues and things like that, but there's really not much you can do to add a solid Poison Ivy to your shelf right now without going to really, like, the third market. Like, that's it. It's the only way you could do it. Oh well. Aliens. This is crazy. I remember when I was growing up, I collected aliens. Like, that was like one of the first toys that, like, in fact, I think I did a video called like toys that own my life or something. Like, I can't remember. It was a while back, but it was like the top 10 toys that like defined my childhood or something like that, or owned my childhood or ruled my childhood. It was something like that. And I remember Aliens was one of those things that it hit the stores. And it was very much like, what is this? Like, this is crazy. Because it just blew my mind back then that, like, this was a toy, like a toy for kids. And I think I bought all kinds of them. I had the gorilla alien, I had the panther alien, I had the bull alien, I of course had the scorpion alien, I had the queen alien, I remember that. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I had the snake. I remember I loved the snake alien. I had the snake alien. I may have just named a good portion. That's the ones I remember off the top of my head. Anyway, know all about opening those gates. Luckily, I just cracked it open and it can be closed again. I don't think it can. I think I'll have to go look and see what that episode did. But I don't know. I would be surprised if you can shut it down now. I think that repivots us back into what we were doing, in all honesty. Especially, like, because I know you guys did a portion of it, and you were able to keep it in hand for what it's worth, but that's not going to happen. Like, the more people we have in the room talking about it, which right now is only 3 of us, The more people we have in the room, the longer the episodes are going to take, and the more we're going to discuss about small details and things like that. You guys couldn't even run through as fast as you thought, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see all this come back again. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey. So let's see. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to look at, because we got a new Storm Shadow coming out. These are cool. And we've already talked about all of these. This is kind of wild to me. I ordered this on Amazon instead of here where I normally would have ordered it. And right now, were all of these like were all the G.I. Joes pushed back on order time? I'm literally wondering if they were, because I got a notice from Amazon saying that they weren't coming in yet. It was specifically for this guy, and it asked me if I wanted to wait because they were being delayed or something like that. And I just told it, yeah, wait, because I'm not overly concerned about it. I'll get him when I get him. As long as I haven't pre-ordered and I know I've got one coming, I'm not stressing about it. But in all honesty, and I almost hate to say this, I may have to buy another Jungle. He's bad. Like, the one that I got, unluckily, he's messed up. Like, his middle torso's screwed up. It's very loose. And his ankles have, like, no hold whatsoever. Like, he's constantly falling forward and falling backward. And he will not stand on his stand, even. And, like, if I put his hand out to do the point that I have, because I like him to do that little point, like, hey. And when I do that, he wants to fall forward because his middle part is messed up. I don't know why. I just got like a really bad Jungle figure. It just simply did not come out well. And then that bothers me because it like, I don't know, is he tough to obtain right now? No, he's right there. So I can easily replace him. I really don't want to spend another $25, but I don't know that I have a choice. Like this, I can't do this pose with him. His ankles won't hold. Like, it just, I don't know. He won't do this. He won't do this like where he stands up straight. If you have any kind of weight whatsoever pushing him forward in any way, he like leans. And I kind of mentioned that when I did the episode, when I talked about him. I said that mine feels a little funny. It's undeniable. Mine is weird. Something's wrong with it. So I feel like I'm going to have to put another 26 down and replace Jungle already. And the reason I say that is because I'm not about to have Jungle, and I'm not about to have a bad Jungle and a good Beachhead. Those two, especially because I was a huge fan of Action Figure Therapy, those two have to be together. Like, they have to be together, and they have to be good figures so I can do pictures and whatnot. Let's see. The fan hits the wall. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Hey, what's going up, man? What's going up, man? What's going on, man? Okay, so the whole Summerfest game things was a huge waste of time. They show a Power Rangers game, but only stream. I'm not sure that I'm 100% sure as to what you're referencing right now, in all honesty. It's probably something I'm not currently following. I've really fell back out of a lot of like current info stuff on purpose. It helps to keep me sane, to not be too up to date with everything and not constantly burn out my money. But some of the things that I am keeping up with that I'm very excited about, finally, because I've been piecing together all the Conan the Barbarian comic book material. And it costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. Like, that's absolutely no joke. It's part of the reason why I've kind of withdrawn myself from a lot of mainline front news. Like, I'm kind of avoiding like a lot of stuff. Like you said right here, I think he meant Steam, not Stream. Either way, it's a collection of all old Power Rangers games. It's a super remaster release. Like, yeah, see, I didn't know anything about that, and it doesn't surprise me that I didn't know anything about that, because I've I've purposely been staying away from a lot of updated stuff so that I don't put myself in a FOMO state where I'm like, oh, I better spend money there and spend money there and spend money there. Because, well, one, I've got my vacation this month, which I'm looking forward to. And then on top of that, I also have to watch myself with my spending because Conan the Barbarian, most of the stuff that I want, even in the omnibus, is out of print. And it's costing like it costs anywhere from like $89 if you're very, very lucky, to it can cost up to $200 on the regular to get a single omnibus. And just to put that in, if you're going for omnibus number 1, which I do not have, you're looking at like a $900 drop, and I cannot spend that. But luckily, I've recently been paying attention to a channel that deals a lot of Conan the Barbarian novelization and things like that. And that channel, it informed me recently that the licensing has gone through and everything, and they are reprinting those omnibus. So that's going to go back on the market at an actual reasonable price. So now I've just got to get my hands on the rest of them and wait for number 1 to reprint. And also Savage Swords is going back into reprint as well, and I didn't get to get any of those, so I'll be able to acquire those. But while I'm dropping $100 a book, it's a lot, and I cannot afford to place my money other places, so I've been very careful to kind of like back off from a lot of stuff. Let's see. I mean, the Game Fest wasn't really a waste of time for me. I got some amazing Sonic stuff, and I'm hyped to buy it. Yeah, and I can get that, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if some of the other guys were a part of that, and no, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. If the guys watched it, I didn't, but if the guys actually watched it, there's no reason they shouldn't go on Fandom Night and do something with it. Like, I'm just saying, really. There's no reason not to get on there and discuss what came out, especially since I know most of the entire group. No, not most of it. The entire group, all of Fandom Night, is gamers, and we all game. Like, so there's no reason we all couldn't have had that conversation. Let's see. So I don't know if this is real or not, but don't they have tools you can buy to fix your toys? And if so, and they're cheap. So here's the thing. They do, but every figure is different, and until you know... Like, hold on. Come here, sad jungle. Okay, so I went and I got sad jungle here. So, here's sad jungle. And yeah, that's the way he is. Like... I kind of got him. See this? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then his base fell off because this stand worked for everybody else that I've gotten except this jungle that just wobble up. There's another part. His backpack will not stay on. The peg is not like big enough for some reason. It won't stay on him. He wiggles and jiggles. If you put any kind of forward, see, now he's like leaning over. I don't know. Like, it's really, it bothers me. And anytime you put him on the stand, his ankles, he just kind of slowly falls backwards or falls forwards. And I cannot get him to hold position. And maybe it's up here more than anything else. Maybe this is losing. But I need to figure out how to either squeeze the torso back into place in a way that holds, or I need to replace him, because it really is bothering me. And I really don't want this guy to be like wrong when I'm just about... And the thing is, I know he's just a repaint. So if the fact that the fact that my Tiger Force jungle is not having these problems means that I got a bad body. It does happen. And with me not really knowing exactly how to fix it, I wouldn't know what tools to buy or what to do. And then the real question at that point is, if I fix it, have I done myself any favors, or would me fixing it cause problems of another nature? Like, I know certain things, like with She-Hulk, people are mad that she doesn't have enough bend in her. They wanted the upper ab crunch to go further in, and that is an issue that happens with a lot of Marvel Legends. But if you heat up the figure and you pop it out and you Dremel the plastic on the inside just a little bit, kind of open it up, it gives them a lot more movement. I know how to do stuff like that. I've done stuff like that, but I don't know how to like tighten up joints on the kind of body frame that he has. G.I. Joe is using the old G.I. Joe Classified is using the old bodies that we saw made popular back when they were doing like the classics lines, like DC Classics and things like that. Like these are the kind of bodies that got really popular, where they have that middle bend. It's not like a Marvel Legends. It's a very different kind of body, and once it gets loose, I don't know that you can tighten it up. Like, it shouldn't be that loose. It really shouldn't. Tiger Force is not that loose, so I don't know what caused it. I probably just got a bad body. It does happen. Let's see. By the way, recently my girlfriend went to a convention in Georgia, and she met Captain Marvelous. Unfortunately, she doesn't have pics or videos, so I can't show it in the server, sadly. That's cool. Sometimes I think about all the people I met. Like, I was talking to somebody not way too long ago, and they'd brought something up, and I was talking about all the people that I met, and it kind of hit me. It starts to get crazy after you think about how many celebrities I have actually met at conventions, even if it's just small things. Like, I've met a lot of them. Let's see. Yeah, so this is version 2 of Storm Shadow. I don't know that it blows my mind necessarily, but so like the first Storm Shadow I liked a lot. This guy, he's cool, but I don't know that I'm like overly attached to him. Now, I think that would be different if I'd have grown up collecting G.I. Joe. This would probably be really cool to me. Like, but in terms of right now, I don't know that it like blows my mind. It's just kind of cool. In fact, is this when he joined the Joes? Because for a while there, he joined the Joes. I remember that. He like left Cobra and became a good guy again for a while. Is that the one that I'm looking at right here? I think it could very well be. Okay. In the... Let's see. Yeah, these are the dailies. Oh my god. It's... I know I bring this up a lot, but like, I cannot see a justification for this. It's at 40% off, and it still costs $108. Oh, this isn't even what I thought it was. I still think that's probably overpriced. In fact, looking at the face, this is good. The sculpting work and everything, the paint is nice. But there's something very plastic looking about her. I know that's kind of strange to say, but it is. So this was a $180 statue, under 10 inches. Final Fantasy stuff is overpriced. It's got to be because of the Square Enix. It has to be something in the Square Enix licensing or something. It has to be. They are overpriced. I mean, because PlayArts Kai is overpriced for what it is, too, and I stand by that judgment 100%. They are overpriced for what they are. Like $160. $160. She's under 10 inches tall. She comes with 3 hands and a stand. And I guess from what I'm noticing, she must have an extra face, an extra portrait. I don't see the value here. Not when you could buy something like Mondo. Like, did everybody see the Mondo that's coming out? The Tila Mondo? Because, like, and yeah, that's more expensive, but the Tila Mondo puts this to absolute shame. Like, I just don't get it. Just for the sake of... Okay, nothing hidden. Really? It didn't sell on Big Bad? That actually surprises me. I thought for sure that it sold on Big Bad. But, regardless, just Mondo in general, you know what? See, this is what I'm getting at. Mondo, that's $234, okay? And I get it, that's money. But, like, let's be fair here real quick. Let's go find this. Because we just compared a female character. Here's another female character. This is $269. But this is what I'm getting at. Like, this comes with all of this, okay? All of it is highly detailed to a point where, and it's way bigger than Play Arts Kai. It's better detailed. It has better articulation. It has better stylings. This is what I'm talking about when I say that the Play Arts Kai looks plastic. This, to me, looks like a realized, real character animation brought to life. That face is absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you this, too. The pictures don't even do it justice. I've seen this in person, and it's magnificent. I mean, it is awe-inspiring what they did with it. And, just to put it out there, it's a foot tall. It has actual articles of clothing and everything. And then Play Arts Kai comes along and has the audacity to be like, it's under 10 inches, it looks plastic, it moves pretty good. Give us like $200. Like I just don't get it. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, it's Square Enix. That shouldn't matter. I don't care that it's Square Enix. The quality is not the same. Like the hands are bad. And I know that. I have some of these. And I've never necessarily been overly thrilled. I really wish, like the ball joint wrists and stuff like that, like I just wish they would, farm out the license and let somebody else try their hand at Final Fantasy toys. Because I know that Final Fantasy toys could be great. They could be handled so much better than they are handled, and they're just simply not. It just blows my mind. It really does. But what are you going to do, realistically? I mean, it is what it is. And I don't buy them, so I really, really shouldn't complain the way I do, but I do. This is wild. They're selling the Army of Darkness chainsaw hand. That's I mean, there's no way around it. That's wild. That's crazy. It is 28 inches long. This thing is crazy. Like, this is one of those things that you buy, and if you're like a horror movie junkie, like, yeah, that's your thing, and you got like the horror movie media room and whatnot, this is something you buy for that room. It's $140, but I mean, it's practically life size at 28 inches. It's pretty cool. Is this just like a plastic thing? It's neat, whatever it is. I have something. I have one of these on the shelf, a Necronomicon. I have one of those on the shelf, actually. I've had it for a very long time. Okay, so let's see. Oh, cool. Lady Death 1/6 statue. Lady Death is awesome. Like, it legit is awesome. But it's like one of those things, it's almost a word of mouth kind of thing. Like, you don't just like get a Lady Death or like get into Lady Death. You kind of... I got into it through Wizard. And I'm not even necessarily like any kind of a super fan. Just every now and then I buy like some kind of graphic novel or something like that to kind of try to keep up with it. But it is legit cool. That is crazy. See, something catches my eye here. Never really been big on like the little people like this things like these. I never really been big on these. Display case, that's pretty cool. Oh, a Godzilla. Let me guess, you're overpriced? Oh my god. What are you? 14 inches tall. Everything's said and done, shipping and handling. Maybe not from this site, but shipping and handling somewhere else. You're probably looking at like $500. Are you just a statue? You're just a statue. That's a $500 statue. 14 inches tall? That's pretty big. For a statue, I guess you could argue it's rare. I don't know. Godzilla merchandise is overpriced, in my opinion, and I get it. But like, I've never been able to back, like the I've never been able to back, Godzilla prices. It's the reason I don't really collect anything other than like buying movies. If I remember correctly, Army of Darkness once made... Okay, if I remember correctly, Nintendo once made an Army of Darkness chainsaw controller to... No, that was Resident Evil 4 controller, if I'm not mistaken. The thing that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure that was the chainsaw controller was for Resident Evil 4. I actually didn't know there was a Lady Death anime. I'll have to check that out. I actually didn't know that. You just told me something I didn't know. Which is awesome, by the way. Nothing is necessarily catching my eye. This is cool that this is coming out. I'm skipping on it. I'm not getting this, but I thought it was cool that it's even a thing. Oh my gosh. Look at these guys. These Warhammer guys are crazy sick as shit. Look at these guys. These are really good, actually. Like, this is... I gotta hand it to him. That's good. He's under $50? He's under $50. He has a ridiculous amount of detail. He's looking chonky and beefy. Doesn't look like he moves too well. That... I mean, I guess, to be fair, well, I mean, you can get some kind of decent poses out of him. Has he got multiple faces, or is he always screaming? He's 5 inches tall? He looks big. That has to be some maybe it might be really good camera angles that they're playing with, but it's kind of impressive. See, by the way, did you ever see that old anime that you were talking about? I actually added it to a playlist of 6 different shows that I'm about to go back into. That's one of them that I'm going to go back and watch it because I'm really looking forward to that. And at the same time, I'm going to be going back to watch Fire and Ice again because I haven't seen it in like years. And I want to see it before the Tigra figures come out because they're going to launch soon. We're going to get the Tigra figures, and I don't want to get that without kind of having a refresh in my mind. And then there are a couple of other movies in that same idea. But yeah, I've actually added it to my playlist of things that I'm going to be watching very soon. Well, oh, where are you seeing Shar Aznable on a horse? What? Okay, I'm in 2. I don't see it. Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, it is there. It's not a figure, it's a statue. Not a bad one, for what it's worth. But, how do I put this? I'm not a huge Shar Aznable fan. Or Char Aznable. I'm not sure. I've noticed that lately when I hear him spoken about online, I grew up, everybody called him Char. And all the animations that I watched called him Char. But lately, I've seen an awful lot of videos where they talk about Gundam and they always call him Char. And now I don't know which pronunciation is actually right. And for the long haul, I'm not a huge Char Aznable fan, in all honesty. I'm just not. He's cool. He plays the character that he's meant to play, but I'm not like stuck on him. That's very much a Shane thing. These are about ridiculous. We're going to look at these Final Fight figures. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is neat. But it should be. This is SH Fig Arts always tends to do really good stuff. This is something I need to start considering, actually. This right here. I don't think I like this. I think it's too basic. I'll have to look at it. That's pretty cool. That's too basic too. I know it's the original Gundam, but this is like toy, isn't it? Which isn't bad, but like, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, this is about wild. What is this? We're gonna look at it because I don't know what it is. Is it something that goes with this stuff? I think it does. Okay, so we're gonna. I need to see it. I need to know what I'm looking at here. Oh, I don't like the chibi things. I don't like SD Gundam. It's the chibi stuff I just don't like. Oh my god, really? Honeycomb monster? Okay, so I got some stuff I can look at real quick. Let's see. Let's see what else everybody's talking about here. His first name is pronounced Char. Shaw. That's fine, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've seen a lot of videos recently, a lot of them, that call him Char. And my only guess is that whatever dub you happen to be watching, maybe in certain regions, the voice acting or voice actors called him Char, and that just happened. When I grew up, I was positive that the Funimation called him Char. Positive of it. But I've seen an awful lot of stuff lately that does not call him that, and I don't know why. And these are like people that are like not small channels on YouTube. They're like big Gundam channels, and nobody seems to be correcting them or arguing with them, which really puts me at a weird spot where I'm like, do I not know his name? Wonder if the Sailor Moon figures and statues have been selling with Sailor Moon been back on TV again. As far as I could tell, yes, they are. And you see a lot of them coming out from like that band Presto and whatnot that's starting to do a lot of Sailor Moon stuff again. Like in higher quantity than they used to do them anyway. Okay. How do I put this? This is cool in concept, but this might be bad. I don't even know if it's the toy's fault. This probably would have passed 2 years ago. 2 years ago, people probably would have seen this. Okay, that's awesome. They gave you the game over face. But I think because Jada Toys launched their Street Fighter stuff, and this would go in the Street Fighter line, 52 Toys got screwed here. How big are these? 1/18 scale? Okay. Yeah, I get the feeling that these are going to suffer simply because Jada Toys put out such undeniably fantastic Street Fighter toys that now these look bad. And they're like they're basically like $34. At $34, if they can't match the Jada quality that's currently being put out, and these are part of the Street Fighter universe, that it's not gonna play. And on a personal note, there's no way I would buy these. I would just wait for expanded universe stuff to show up through Jada Toys. Like if they move past Street Fighter 2 and go into Street Fighter Alpha, you'd get Guy right there. If they went far enough into Street Fighter Alpha, you would also end up getting Cody anyway. So the only guy you wouldn't really get is, I don't think Hagar's been in a I don't think he's been in like a I don't think Hagar's actually been in a Street Fighter game yet. Honestly, that Golden and Black Destiny Gundam we skipped looked really boss. It did. Yeah. The Char thing is wrong. The official pronunciation is the one you're using. See, and I thought that too, but like I said, I mean, I keep seeing it in video after video after video after video, and it's my only guess is that it's certain translations, certain voice actors, certain dubs must have called him Char for some reason. They must have. And that got stuck in a lot of people's heads. That's the only way that it even makes sense to me, because I hear it a lot now. That orange, no, I didn't, but I'll go look at it, because I don't mind that one actually didn't look bad. He looked like a good figure. I almost did click on him. Yeah, I don't think these are bad. That's a shame. That's a shame, because Final Fight has a lot. Like, I mean, after seeing the Street Fighter toys that we've seen lately from Jada, there's no reason you shouldn't have done Final Fight and done it justice, period. Like, there's no reason to not do it justice. Yeah, so we're looking at, of course, Bandai Spirits, Mobile Suit Gundam. It's only $22, whatever this is, and it's a 1 in 144 scale. That's not bad. That puts it piece to build HG. Okay, so is this one of the kits? Requiem for Vengeance HG MS 144 scale model kit. It's an HG. It says it's an HG. It says piece to build HG. That's good. HG isn't bad. I know some people get really stuck on the grades and they think that just because something is HG, it's bad. I disagree with their concept completely. HG kits can be very solid, and I would argue that before you jump into a master or perfect or real, you should build whatever it is you're contemplating in HG, because it'll give you the basic concept of what you're about to get into, and then you can get the better version. I honestly swear by HG. I like the HG kits, but I have seen a lot of like people that are real serious about it, that like they won't even touch an HG kit. That on the feet right there is crazy impressive. This guy, he's got to be painted, right? He's got to be painted for the sale. Because I know I could see some of the line art has been filled in, and that's fine. Anybody can do that. So if you see it and you're like, oh yeah, you just go get yourself one of those Gunpla pins and fill it in. Take a magic eraser. That's how you do it. Just to let you know, take a magic eraser, pin it all in, and then go over with the magic eraser a couple of swipes to kind of dim out the hard black, because when you first color into these, they're going to be hard black. Go over it a couple times with the magic eraser. It kind of buffs it out, and like ages it, and it looks really good. It's a really good, simple effect that anybody can do when they're doing simple Gunpla. It works. It really does, and it works very well. It wouldn't surprise me if this is close to what was done here. Because I kind of see right in here where this looks like they definitely pinned it and then did what I'm talking about. This is solid. And I will say this also, by the way. HG has gotten better and better and better and better. Like, I built the Moon Gundam, okay? And I did that not too long ago. Well, I guess it was a while back now. Now that I'm stopping and think about it, I think I did Moon Gundam a while back at this point. And so, yeah, that's fair. But I'll tell you that doing the Moon Gundam and a couple of the others that I not way too long ago put on the shelf, their build quality is getting really crazy. Like, some of it, I'm seeing real grade techniques moved into HG builds now. Like, it's really impressive, actually. Hey, what's going on, man? Yes, do that. Do what he's telling you to do. Let's see. How is HG considered bad? It means high grade. It literally says it's quality mecha figures. Yeah, but when you get into like these collector circles, and especially collecting builder circles, HG, until they added the new entry grade level, the EG, HG is considered beginner. It's considered less. It's looked at that way. I know people personally. I know people face to face. I work with a guy at Caterpillar, and he told me, that's the first time I've actually accidentally said that out loud. I work for a major industry. Okay, I work out in the floor and whatnot. But I work with a guy, and he specifically told me that he will not touch anything. If it's not a master grade, he won't even build it. He won't touch it. He said he started in HG, and he did it for like the first year. Then he jumped up to real grade and basically made his jumps. And now he won't touch anything that's not master because he just thinks they look like crap. And to me, that feels a little bit elitist. Because on a personal note, I don't think that HG, I don't think you can go wrong with it. They make solid figures in the HG grade, even though it is technically the lowest grade, unless we're counting the new entry grade, which I've never built one of those. I don't know anything about it, and maybe you could call out like the same thing, like I'm saying, you kind of fall into a little bit of elitist, because I will say, I've seen entry grade guys and then gone, no. So I guess I know how you reach that point, because like when I see new Gundam and I already have a real grade new Gundam, it like there's zero interest for me to buy the entry grade new Gundam that I come across in the stores. But then you could also say, well, I already have it. Maybe if I didn't have a new Gundam and that was my chance to get one, maybe I would try it out. And who knows, maybe it's fine for what it is, you know. And everybody has to start somewhere too, so there's no reason to crap on entry grade, because really you got to start somewhere. And for some people, in fact, Proto Guy, just to put it out there, Proto Guy is completely overwhelmed by these. He's completely overwhelmed by these. He can't do it. Like it's intimidating to him. He puts all the pieces out, he gets all the trays, he starts looking it over, he looks at the directions, and it's all this like, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And so he brought the last two that he bought, actually three. The last three that he bought, he brought here. Dropped him off and said, look, man, I would really appreciate it if the next time I'm over, if you help me build it, or the next time you're just feeling bored, if you could build it, because he can't do it. It intimidates him. So maybe entry grade would be a good starter kit for somebody that feels like that. So there's no reason to crap on it, really. There is a home for it for what it's worth. It has a design purpose, I'm absolutely sure. Yeah, and then also Nick, he often builds these with me, and he builds a lot of HG, and he doesn't often build them alone. I think he's more than capable of doing so. I wouldn't find any reason that he isn't, because he's done like 10 or 12 with me easily. But like even then, he's sometimes kind of made a mistake here and there while building and been like, ah, crap. And then he'll kind of pass it over to me and I'll be like, I see what you did. And then I'll fix it. So it's just different people view this material very differently, and it can be very imposing. So I can understand why you would feel overwhelmed and entry grade would be appealing. But I think where I am in skill level, it doesn't make sense for me to go back. And maybe you could look at that for the guy that built his way up to master grade. But then something will come out that is only in HG. It's the only way you can get it. And he'll simply tell me that it's not worth owning. That feels elitist to me, and I've kind of called him out on it before. I love it when mecha toys have fully functional and bendable joints, can do a lot of posing instead of looking boxy and unable to move. Absolutely. Do you know anybody with perfect grade level Gundams? No. Not personally. I've not walked into a home that had one. I feel like I never got to build it, but I had one perfect grade RX-78. I never got to build it. When I was really into building Gunpla, I bought one. I put it on the shelf. I intended to buy it. It was going to be like a big project for me. I was very excited about it. And it was like expensive. I remember it really took it for me to get my hands on one. And then stuff went down. I had to leave that house and it got pawned. And I've never rebought one ever. So I've never built one myself either. Since we are looking at this though, let's see. What is this? This looks very $85. 6 inches. It's just a figure? Oh, it comes with a lot of stuff. That's pretty expensive though. I don't think I could justify. I like that effect. I mean, I'll say there's cool parts to it. That is sick. I really like that. I like that too. The more I'm looking at it, I think I'm starting to see why it's simplistic looking. I think they were trying to create a figure that looked true to the animation of the time. And if you remember, the animation of that time, it wasn't near the detail level that we get from something like Gundam Wing in the 90s. Like, this was an earlier anime, and while every now and then they would go out of their way to like show some scenes that were like super intricate, like look at the Gundam head, or look at the arm or whatever, most of the time when you saw the Gundam in that animation, it did look like this. So I think I know what they're going for. It looks simplistic on purpose. I think they're trying to match the animation style that it came from, rather than trying to like make it everything it can be. And in that idea, I don't think this is a bad figure. It is pricey, but this is a pretty cool set too. You figure with the you got booster effects. You have all these different hands. You have the Gundam. You have 2 different mainline weapons. You have these right here, which is pretty cool. You have the 2 saber lines, but then you have a swinging saber line. You have explosions. You have recoils. You have a blaster effect. Like, this is pretty solid. If you bought this and ran some decent photography with it, you would not be disappointed. but it would cost you real money, and it's only about 6 inches tall, so you just need to know what it is you're buying into. But I think you could justify this price point. It would be a little tough, but I think you could justify the price point. You could say, hey, I don't feel bad spending this money. I think you'd do fine, in all honesty. I really do. Great blast effects, kind of price. Yeah, okay, yeah, and I could see you're agreeing with me right off the bat. Bud has Tolgeese coming to me. Really? That's awesome. You know, I've always kind of wanted the Tolgeese? Tolgoosen. I always wanted the Tolgoosen. That's going to be my plural for multiple Tolgeese mechs. Tolgoosen. I always wanted the Tolgoosen mechs, like the different variants of them. And I want to kind of put them next to each other to kind of see the evolution of what that became as it went and got upgraded. Like the marks, that would be cool to have on a shelf, like right next to each other. I will take all y'all hate. I've never seen any of the Gundam series, never caught my interest. I'm not going to give you hate. Here's what I'll tell you, man. And I'm being serious about this. If you have any interest at all, you can gauge whether or not you care about Gundam. It's very simple, and I'm not going to tell you because I know people, they're like, oh, you just got to give it like 120 episodes. Watch the entire Universal Century. Bullshit. Listen, if you want to test the waters and see if Gundam is for you, there's a very easy way to do it, which is not a super ridiculous time sink. Watch Gundam the Origin. It's a unbelievably good anime that takes place before the original series. Watch that. It's very modern animation. You will enjoy it for what it's worth. If nothing else, you'll enjoy it visually. Watch it. It's only like, I think, 6 episodes? I'm telling you, you'll get through it quick. And then even if you don't like it, you didn't have that big of a time sink. If you enjoy that, I'm not telling you to go watch the original series, all 50 episodes. But I think, even on Netflix right now, I think you can watch the movies. There are 3 Gundam movies, which add a couple of extra scenes, increase the level of detail in the animation, but basically work as a collage show, taking the most important parts of the original series, putting them into movie format, and then there's that you can watch those 3 movies and you will have seen all of Gundam that you need to see to determine whether or not you care to get into the series. At that point, if you are not hooked and you don't care, the show is not for you, move on. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everything is for everybody. And maybe Gundam is something you will never get into. But the best testing ground, without having somebody tell you, just watch the original series, it's 50 episodes, don't do that. There's a chance you'll burn yourself out and never watch Gundam just because you did that. The animation is old, it will feel old, it will look old, and unless you have the right mind frame to handle watching old animation, you won't like it almost on principle. It's just the way it is, that's the way people are. I love it. I do. I love the original. I watched the original. I even like the animation style. And I loved that when Gundam Origin came out and did the books, they did not alter that style. They kept to that style, and I really appreciate that. But I'm not ignorant enough to tell you to watch it that way, because I will say it's old animation and it does very quickly fall into Monster of the Week. In fact, I have a video on this channel that specifically talks about when Gundam lost its way in the original series and the man that brought it back. And it's called Sleggar is Awesome. Watch that video. I'll talk all about when Gundam started to turn into a Monster of the Week series and how Sleggar brought it back and made it what everybody remembers it being. I remember when Twitter went kind of crazy when the Napoleon Gundam was got a very detailed figure. Let's see. No hate at all. You like what you like, you don't like what you don't. That's exactly what I'm saying too. Yeah. To be completely honest, the only Gundam show I've watched is the newest one, which from Mercury. I really like the Aerial Gundam, with it being alive like an Evangelion mech. Also, Iron Blooded Orphans. Okay, so you watch a lot of the newer stuff. I stick pretty heavily to the Universal Century, and I that's kind of where I live. And I don't really deviate from it very much. I'm not really into Super Mecha, and I even kind of have issues with the Universal Century when it starts diving into, like, the robots have souls and stuff like that. I don't want that. I very much want the actual original war drama that it was meant to be, with realistic weapon technology that is so far sophisticated from what we have that it's basically Super Mecha compared to what we could possibly have, but still not an actual Super Mecha. Once they start crossing that line, once they get into like Gundam Wing territory, it starts to really rub me the wrong way, because those are super machines where 5 guys alone fought an entire war. If you took Amuro, even at his absolute best, put him in the Gundam, the RX-78, put him on the field at freaking, let's say, the end, let's say a Boaku, right? A Boaku. You put him there, and he's the only guy there, he's dead. He'll die. He won't make it. He can't live through that. That's impossible, because I don't care what kind of new type you are, you can't do that. But Gundam Wing is different, and it rubbed me the wrong way, because like 5 guys literally fought a war by themselves. Like, no support, no mobile suits, no battle tactics, just 5 kids fought a war because their machines were so supernatural that there was no stopping them. Like they talk all this stuff. They talk all this stuff about how they're like, oh man, the Leo is the most sophisticated machine. The Leo just stands there and blows up. Like, when you watch Mobile Suit Gundam, the Zakus are claimed to be this very powerful, very worthwhile machine, and it is proven to you in multiple accounts that the Zakus, with proper battle tactics and instructions, could take out the Gundam. He was almost beat by regular Zakus multiple times, because they're weapons, and the users determine a lot of that functionality, and even then, they're still weapons. They're subject to real damage, real wear and tear, and the Zakus are powerful machines that are capable of holding their own, even against the RX-79 ground Gundams. Not actually Gundams, but that's an argument altogether, and it doesn't matter. They're still a mass-produced unit of the Gundam, which is really no better than what they were dealing with. It's impressive to me. But the Leos, the entire time that you watch Gundam Wing, the Leos do nothing impressive except for Zex falls on a Gundam and hugs it. That's how he wins. That's how he wins his fight. He falls on the Wing Gundam, hugs it good, and they fall in the water. That's how he won the fight. He hugged the Gundam till defeat. And then, otherwise they just stand there and wait to be blown up. They just, oh my god, we can't get him. And then he comes over and just does one slash, ka-ching, and kills 7 guys. It's not for me. It's not for me. But that 8th MS team, I find that to be one of the greatest things ever made in the entire history of all Gundam. It's unbelievably good. And that's the difference to me. The MS-8th team is where I make my home when I talk about Gundam, what I like and what I like to watch. Wing Gundam is the super mecha that kind of turns me off. But, all that being said, I did watch all of Wing Gundam, and I liked it during the time that I liked it. It's just that it's in modern viewings today, it is not held up to the way that I currently enjoy the series. I do like Iron Blooded Orphan had no laser weapons. Why? Because every building material is now coated in anti-laser elements, so now they just use giant metal weapons, swords, actual bullets. Which is kind of cool, but also another kind of super thing. Like we invented a metal that, I don't know, it just... I haven't watched Iron Blooded Orphans except for like 5 episodes, so I cannot form an honest opinion, but they feel very super to me from what I saw there, and it did kind of turn me off. I just didn't keep watching it. But Shane watched all of it, and he seems to really like it, so I need to go back and give it another try at some point. Witch from Mercury is pretty standalone. It's a war drama plus a love story. The only mecha that's alive is the main one, and even then, it's more like a berserk AI than a hijack. Yeah, and I can get that. What I'd like to watch that I know everybody was talking about for a while, and I bought the first 4 manga. I want to watch all of Thunderbolt. I've only read the first 4 manga, and I was very interested in what I read. Now, speaking of mecha, I have not watched the new Sentai series. Now I heard the story. Now I heard the story's okay, but the helmets, those sorry-looking hubcap visors. I get it. It says really good show, dumb suits. And I think I've pretty much hit everything I need to say on those. I've thought about this for a while. Like buying an effects pack for things like, because I have figures like Dragon Ball Z figures and stuff like that, and this would be a really good idea for multiple reasons. I could really make a lot of use out of these, I think. I think I could. I especially like these ground effects and everything like that with like the Super Saiyans, things like that where like powering up I could actually get nice effects, or I could do something like have somebody shooting a beam and all that coming off the bottom of them and then like kind of cup the beam. And then of course they got stuff like this which looks really good. I feel like these kinds of effects could work really well. But I also, every time you set up these stands, so it's just an extra thing that you have to do in the photography idea where you set up the stands and then you take the picture and then you got to go in, you got to do a bunch of digital stuff, removing the stands. I have a thing with my photography, and it is what it is, okay? It's not that I don't appreciate effects, but like, okay, so I saw one today, which I kind of liked, okay? It has like, it had Macaulay Culkin running away from a T-Rex while Wonder Woman like was throwing out her lasso around its mouth and kind of like pulling it and saying, "Run, Kevin!" And I seen it and I was like, that's a cool piece of art. But then I got to looking at it and I'm a little put off by the effects because they add like a bunch of effects to these pictures that kind of like make them stand out. Where some of the photography that I've done, I create the effect in what I'm doing. It's hard for me to explain. I try to avoid using stands and things of that nature as much as I possibly can. Sometimes I don't have a choice. I want a guy to be jumping. There's only so much I can do with that. So I end up having to use a stand. But I don't like going in and like adding, like sometimes I'll see where like somebody has shot like a gun and they'll go in and digitally put a bunch of stuff into the picture. That's cool, but I like the raw imagery of getting that picture to look as real as you can while adding nothing more than the visual zone you had to work in. Lights, take the picture, get it right, have the poses. That's what really thrills me, is getting the picture right without all the additives. Like, any picture can be cool if you go back with enough effects, but I really love that sweet spot where you just nailed it. Let's see. They definitely outpaced the standard mobile suits in Wing a lot. I always wish they had more suits like Epion, Tolgeese to level the playing field. Yeah, I think it would have helped a lot of things in that show. I still really like how Evangelion just overturns and defies the entire mecha genre. The Evas aren't even technically mecha, just horrifying living beings with armor. Yeah, because like the plug-in one, they basically took, like you said, horrifying living beings, and they're kind of forcing them to do what they want them to do, is kind of what's happening there. So here's these. What is this thing? Oh, well, first off, so this is a 30-minute sister operation parts set, 15 Nightmare Custom. That told me exactly what it is. Thank you. I'm giving it shit. I'm giving it shit because I want to see it and I want to make my comments before I actually put together what's exactly going on here. Because this is wild. Are you just making like a mecha girl? Is that what this is? And you buy sets of the different girls and kind of put them together the way you want them. That's what this looks like you're doing. So all this white area, I'm guessing, doesn't come with it. What we're looking at here is you buy a body. Okay, that's what it looks like. I think you're making a mecha girl. That's actually kind of wild if that's what this is. So you make the mecha girl, so you form the body the way you want. You have multiple breast choices and so on and so forth, as far as I can tell. That's fine, I guess. And then I'm guessing, because I'm noticing this, so it doesn't come with the eyes. Do you have to paint the eyes? Is it a decal that you'll have to decide on? Or do you buy proper faces that you want? Because I'm noticing this comes with an open mouth face, but there's no eyes on either one of these. And then this is whited out to show that this isn't something that you get. You get this. And then the other one is this. And this seems like the body with the legs and stuff. Or is this just like some sort of endo frame? I am really curious as to what these are. This is kind of neat. We're going to look. That's cool. Okay, so look. That's Bandai Spirits. Is this also? This is the same thing. Okay, so look. I'm going to type this in. This right here. We're going to go look for what these are. I just want to know. Yeah. And then so you buy faces. This is a thing where you buy parts. This is incredibly nerdy. I mean, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying, so you buy the hairs that you want. You buy the faces that you want. Look, these are faces. These are faces that cost $30. So this, you gotta really be into this. And then once you have the faces that you want, then you're buying other parts. This is a costume. This doesn't come with a face. So this is just the body parts. So you buy this girl here, and she costs like $24, okay? And then there's a swap out so you can have her with the belly shirt if that's what you want, okay? And then you take that and you buy the faces that you want. You buy the alternate body parts that you want. And you're just playing mix and match. And there's a bunch of hairs. I'm going to be honest. This kind of blows my mind. It also blows my mind that this is like something that I've never seen before. Because it almost makes too much sense. Way too expensive for my taste. Over time, this looks like a money drop. But this is kind of amazing. Like, okay, and then, yeah, there's skin body parts. That's what you're looking at here. That way you could do things like the swimsuits and whatnot. Okay, I see. Or you could do this battle suit. And see, they're right there. The arms and the legs don't come with this one. You bought the hair. So you bought like a setup. And then you have to combine it with the other things that you have. This is wild to me. And then they got weapons and... So you just... make anime girls. This is a line where you just buy parts and then you put those parts together. This set of hair, this set of hair would have cost $32, and then you could have added it to different figures, however you see fit, and made your custom anime girl. This is like super level nerdy, but like it's kind of impressive. I'm gonna be honest here. It's kind of wild. That's one way to do a Build-A-Figure. Yeah. Option parts are just a Japanese terms for additional pieces sold separately. And that's exactly, that's what I mean, though. I don't need the translation. That's not doing anything for me. And that's not what I'm trying to do, man. Let's see. You buy the framework, you can add parts. That's exactly, that's what I've been talking about. You buy the framework, then you add parts to specific things, and you make your own suits and your own little girls or whatever. It's common for Toku fan in Japan. It's called shodo or crafting dolls. Well, here it's called kit bashing. Because we do it too. We do it with action figures, and we also do it in a lot of our movies. Like a lot of the Star Trek ships and whatnot were designed through kit bashing. That's why a lot of them look the same, because you would literally, in Star Trek The Next Generation, they would need a new ship. They would go out and they would buy the models, like literally from the store, of the ships that already existed, and then they would like pull them apart, cut off parts, post them back together, and like create a new ship through kit bashing. A bunch of parts that come together to form the whole. You buy the main body and then you build onto it. It's just this, they're just selling kit bashes. In fact, when I think about it, there's another thing that's going on right now, because I've noticed this for certain lines that are like comparable, and as well as like Mythic Legions, where you see a lot of stuff. They come with a lot of stuff, and sometimes I don't know if it's necessarily Mythic Legion, but like I've seen like the what was that, Gladiators that were coming out for a while, and you could like literally buy, was that Mythic Legions, where you could just like buy Gladiator set, and it was like you could buy like a female body or a male body, and then like there was 3 or 4 different heads, and you could buy different heads, and you could buy like the weapons packs and things like that. It's just kit bashing. They're just selling kit bashing, which it's kind of cool. I'm surprised that I've never come across that before, because it makes a lot of sense. Not that I would get into it necessarily, because that's just, you're getting into an absolute money drop at that point, and one that I could not abide by at the moment. But it's impressive nonetheless to say that it's a thing at all. Actually, it kind of blew me away there for a second. Let me see if I can't set up for something else here. There's that one. Let's see. The Chibi figures line, like Chibi He-Man and Skeletor, are the exact same. You can have Skeletor's head on a rider suit, or right, but then all of He-Man Origins is built on the same property. They're all designed for kit bashing. Every single one of their parts are designed for that concept. So when you buy He-Man, you could buy an extra He-Man just for the body. You could swap the heads. The arms are literally made to be swapped. The hands are made to be swapped. The boots are made to be swapped. The legs are made to be swapped. And the crotch regions are often made to be swapped and whatnot. So you can make anything you want out of armor, because they all share the same body cap. So that allows for kit bashing. This has been going on in toys for years. It's just kind of, I just never seen those anime girl things before that way, and it just kind of blows my mind, because it makes perfect sense. Like, of course you would do that, right? It just kind of blew me away. It was just something I was surprised about. I kind of love this Son of Hulk. Oh my god. A Father's Day sale. I'll look at it. I'm a father. I can look at the sale. Let's see. Father's Day sale. Fun gifts for dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's kind of cool, I guess. $17. What is this? Refrigerator magnet dice. Okay. Gimmicky, fun present for dad. I guess I can get behind that. That's cool. Kami symbol lamp. That's cool. Most of this. Oh my gosh, really? This is a lot of... It almost looks like... It looks like a lot of this is the gimmicky little crap that they couldn't sell. That they ended up having... Really? Golden Girls for your Father's Day? Okay. Okay, sure. Everybody likes what they like. This feels like a lot of the gimmicky little things that they couldn't sell because of that's what they are. So they have like a whole bunch of this left in stock and they were like, hey, Father's Day is coming up. What if we claim that we got like a sale? Because, yeah, there's like 3 pages of this. Come on, guys. Yeah. That's what this feels like. That's kind of cool. I have a sign like this. I have the Crystal Lake Camp sign actually downstairs right now. I have that exact sign. Not this exact sign. I have the actual camp sign downstairs. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Kin Duck. I'm gonna call it what it is. I think I'm right. I think they have a whole bunch of gimmicky little things that are left over that they couldn't get rid of. Just a whole bunch of stuff, taking up space in the warehouse and whatnot. And they're like, Father's Day, we could tell people that it's a sale. I mean, of course, I guess it's a sale, but like, there's a reason this gimmicky stuff sits around the way it does. Like, there's a reason it sits around the way it does, is because oftentimes the only time this stuff gets bought is like in like a last minute, you're walking out of the store and you see like a little thing hanging to the side and you're like, oh, cool. That's the kind of sales that this works out for. And that's about it, really. This is crazy. This is crazy. The Mondo figure, the 1/6 scale, dude. I liked that Megan movie a lot. I went to see it in the theaters twice. And then I bought the movie, the extended edition, the unrated one or whatever. And I think that this Megan movie is fantastic. I worry about the continuation of this film because it is big. A lot of people liked it. It got very popular. And that almost guarantees that we're going to see a part 2. And I almost hate the idea that we're going to see a second one of these because this is really good. And in a toy, by the way, this is good because the toy is a toy and is lifeless. So this thing sitting on your shelf with the rooted hair and everything, it's almost uncanny because this is kind of what she looks like. You know what I mean? Like, because she is a toy. So her sitting there lifeless in your room, even though she'd only be, about that big or whatever, is just really cool. How big is she? I actually don't remember. She's 1/6. Okay, so yeah, you're looking at like a foot tall figure. It's really good. Like, I'm truly impressed by this. 214. It's pretty expensive, but it's Mondo. You know the quality. It looks absolutely fantastic. It comes with stuff like I could argue this price for it, especially if you figure for the kind of people that are going to buy it. Like, I think you could argue that price. I think you could justify it. What's this? A Figuarts Chun-Li? Is that what I'm looking at here? So this I get. How do I put this? These lately, I get stuck on the like, this is good. I'm looking at it and it's pretty good. But then I look at it and I go, yeah, but Jada. Like, and that's a big deal. Like, I wish the Jada toy would have come with the Hoken. In fact, you could argue with now this head is coming out on the next Jada figure, the pink one will have it. And she'll also be $20. So you can buy her, as ridiculous as it is, you could buy her just for the head sculpt that you want. And she'll come with extra hands too, so she can actually do this. She'll have this and she'll have this, so she can do her in pose thing. And like this, look, this is $80. How big are you? 5.2. Yeah, see, just buy the Jada. Just buy the Jada figure. Like, I'm sorry, I can't justify it at this point. Because, like, is that it right there? Yeah. Like, just buy this. I'm serious. I already did a review for it and everything. I don't think, especially with her stand, like, she's $20, guys. Like, this is as good as it gets. And by the way, the articulation that they pull off on a $20 figure, Jada Toys has done such a good job that the rest of the Street Fighter toys on the market have basically become completely irrelevant. Like why? And I did hear about that, actually, but I have yet to try Street Fighter 6 at all. I have a bit of a Street Fighter problem. I love Street Fighter. I like fighting games in general. But what I loved about them was Street Fighter 2, 3, 4, and even the beginning of 5 were all played with my friends. Just like Dead or Alive 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And now the beginning of 6, all played with my friends. We used to have my friends come over, and we'd all sit around and we'd all play fighting games, pass the controller back and forth and whatnot for hours. That was what it was about. And then they'd leave and I'd, play by myself for a while. I'd fight the computer or whatnot, and I'd be really into it. The last, we'll say 4 years, that has died off substantially. And when that happened, it became a lot more difficult for me to justify the purchasing of any fighting game, because chances were I was just going to play the fighting game alone anyway. Why put myself through that? And that kind of, not being negative here, but like at that point, why would I spend $70, $80 on a fighting game that I'm just going to, because, and I'm not saying you can't play these alone. And I understand there's the internet, but I'm not interested in going to work, working the difficult job I have, coming home and getting absolutely reamed online for like 4.5 hours when I'm trying to relax. It's not in the cards for me anymore like that. I have zero interest in that life. But yeah, that's like, I think about that, and then it makes me not buy fighting games recently. Like, it's been really hard to justify, and I really like the look of 6, but I would hate to spend that money and then find out that I bought it for absolutely no real reason. Like, that would really bother me. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Oh, they sold these together in like a pack? I've been seeing, let me find it real quick. I've been seeing him marked down to like $20 at Targets, and I've almost bought him a couple times just because, I mean, he's Necron, but I haven't done it. Yeah, everybody's talking about this. I mean, I guess I can tell that's Jim Carrey, but like, you really want that face on your shelf? That face of all the moments they could have chosen? This? You want this face? I don't see it. I don't see it. Luckily, this is not for me. It's not something I will be buying. For the price point, that is a good Tommy Lee Jones. Like, that's solid. I can see it. I have no problem saying, oh, that's exactly who that is. It's done very well. I'm impressed. I kind of like the coin flip effect, and I kind of don't at the same time. It's, like, he's got this extra hand that, like, has the... But it's... I don't know. It bothers me a little bit. It comes with one of the wings. And then they made the Build-A-Figure for this wave the deleted scene bat, which is both kind of cool and gimmicky. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Are we not looking at a wire capes for these guys? Are these guys just capes? Because it looks like they're just capes. His face is solid. I mean, I could see who that is. I know who that is. That works for me for what it's worth. I find Jim Carrey to be the worst of this line. Look at that. Look at this face. Did he really look that bad? And maybe it's the paint. I don't know. Something about that doesn't seem right to me. He seems right. His head sculpt seems right. Heck, he almost looks like if you had no idea what the movie was and you had no history, you could almost look at this and be like, oh, that's a cool Batman. I mean, we know what it is, so it's not a cool Batman. But, I mean, I guess everybody's entitled to like some stuff, you know what I mean, that's not like the commonly accepted cool stuff. But, yeah, I don't see it. No, little plushes. I think she's got all but one of these right now. I think she's missing one or two of these, and that's it. I don't like these Dragon Stars. I already have a video talking about these two, the Dragon Stars. I built one of the Bandai models to compare it to the Dragon Stars because of their comparable price points. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no reason to buy them now. A pre-order model kit, $150 basically. What are you? Okay. I mean, right now I'm just looking at the color scheme is cool, even though I would like it in its original colors. This doesn't like make me feel like it's the best thing in the world. It looks like it has really, really, really good posability for what it is. You build this? Is this an actual model kit? Build, form, pose. Limited version model kit stands approximately 8.15 inches tall. Sorry, one half inches. 1/5. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Pterodactyl. It's, you know, does this have like... It's not bad. It honestly makes me wonder about like other stuff. Let me look. Oh, that's it, huh? Okay. What if I remove flame? No, that's it? Okay. I was just kind of hoping that maybe there'd be a regular version of it. But then again, maybe there was, and maybe it sold out like crazy, and now it's kind of not a thing. Oh, yeah, the turtles. So we talked about these. I definitely like these more than any of the others. Did everybody see that, yeah, they have the van, okay? They have the van. And, yeah, you can also get the blimp now. So the blimp and the van are on the way. But then, recently, they showed, and you can already get it now, right? They did the Technodrome. The Technodrome is coming back on the market. That is unreal. Like, it's unreal. Yeah, I can't stand your tomfoolery, Tommy Lee Jones to Jim Carrey, only to then turn around and try to out-foolery Jim Carrey. Like, I have to question the authenticity of how that was said, and was Tommy joking and Jim took it seriously? I really wonder, because, like, if you watch that movie, in some cases, he acts like a bigger fool than Jim does. So it's kind of wild to me. Are you a Batman Forever fan, Bill? Not really. I watch all 4 of those movies. I like the first 2. The other 2 I watch and I joke around and I have fun with them, but it is not something I'm like super stuck on. It's not something that I like go crazy with. Okay, I checked. That model kit is a released Sentai toy line. Sentai toy. The original had green, where this Megazord had red. I don't know what you're talking about. Green, where that one had red. All I saw was black and gold, or maybe I was... Maybe I couldn't see it, to be fair. It's very possible that I couldn't see it. You could probably see it. I probably can't see it. Because if there's... Oh. So I just went back and I'm looking at the pictures and I can see now there is red. It's black, gold, and red. I couldn't see the red. I have to really focus in and give my eyes a second to catch it. It's a problem. It's a problem I have, and it's not going to be going away anytime soon. It's going to be with me my whole life, as far as I'm aware. I'm red-green deficient. But I think we've hit the end. I think I've looked at stuff. I think I've made some determinations. We talked about a couple of things. If you hung out, hey, thanks. I do have other stuff coming. I have like 5 videos currently in the queue that are being edited. And then while I'm editing those, I'm also in the process of filming. So, like, all of these, that's like everything so far released Masterverse for the Princess of Power line. And so I'm going to be going through those and talking about a bunch of them and everything. And then from there, I'm going to be going and talking about some of this stuff. I got to go and I got to cancel, because I think at this point the package is lost. I think I'm never getting it. I've got to cancel Mr. Fantastic again. I'm not going to get him. And I'm going to have to hunt him down somewhere else. This blows my mind. I have everything for the Super Scroll except for Mr. Fantastic. I can't seem to get him, and it's blowing my mind. This will be the 4th time I have had to like cancel the figure and try again on this line. I don't know what's happening. Like, I've never had this much trouble obtaining one figure. But it looks like for some reason his price went down, because the last one that I tried to buy was like $70, and now I found another one of him. This one on Amazon that looks like they're only asking $54, and the one that I ordered got lost somehow. It literally says that your package is lost. I'm not getting it. It's not going to happen, so I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with it. I just can't seem to get one to put on the shelf. Let's see. Would you ever add an Indy or any other Indiana Jones figures to your shelf? Probably not. I like Indiana Jones for what it is. I watch the movies. I enjoy it. I'm fine with it. But then that's it. Like, I'm not like any kind of like exceptional fan. I watch it and I enjoy it, and then I kind of get over it, and then I kind of move on with my life. It's not one of those movies that I dissect any further than I liked to watch it. And I don't know why. A lot of other people really, really, really like the Indiana Jones movies and the Indiana Jones character, and I find that he's fine. He does a pretty good movie, and then I move on. I don't know why. He doesn't stick with me like other characters do, and I'm not 100% sure why that is, in all honesty. So like, that's a Harrison Ford that's not going to be touching the shelf, because I just have no reason that I would ever buy one. But I don't know. We're all interested in different things. Anyways, guys, if you did come, if you hung out, if you were here the whole time, if you were here half the time, if you just got here, whatever, I guess I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I got a couple of videos that are going to be on the way. I got some editing to do and stuff like that. So always on the move, and always toys to open up, always toys to talk about. I'm going to get out of here. Later on.